Alright folks, welcome back. Today we are tackling the F.E.N.C.E Weasels over Syria campaign. I'm excited to do this campaign. Love the F-16, love fighting SAMs. Let's get on it. Alright, welcome to the F.E.N.C.E Weasels over Syria campaign. Begin by setting main power, contact H4 ground to request startup using the F10 radio menu. The radio is already set to the correct frequencies. Okay. Alright, here we go. Gotta ask for permission to do stuff in this one. Let's do it. Main power.
Hotel 4 ground, Sword 2-1 requesting engine start.
Sword 2-1, you are cleared to start engine.
Alright, we are clear to start engine. Let's go ahead. Start to. Watching for the 20.
Sword 2-1 starting engine.
Stabilize just above 21. Advancing the throttle. Go ahead and shut the canopy. Save our ears.
RPM rising, good start.
We are not in a covered structure. Turn on the avionics. VHF Com 2 to Sword Flight 1, Channel 7 to prepare for radio check. Alright, so we're not in a covered structure. We're going to go ahead and arm the seat in case this thing decides to do something bad on me. Let's go ahead and turn everything on, get everything set up. Alright, I'm going to try stored heading mode. I was reading in the manual, in stored heading mode, you do not accept the values in here, which I've always done that because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, and I've never been able to get stored heading to work. So I'm going to try that, might regret it later. Alright, so VHF, Com 2 Channel 7 for the check-in.
Sword flight, sword leap, radio check. Sword 1-2.
Ooh, I gotta respond. Cool. Where's my spacebar?
Sword 2-1 radio check.
Sword 2-1 is up.
Sword 2-2 is up. Lima Charlie, sword flight. Now get airborne. I'll see you all at waypoint 1. Remember to make sure you talk to H4 tower departure as required. Lead out.
Alright. H4 tower as we are required. Continue with the aircraft startup when ready to taxi. Contact H4 ground on VHF com channel VHF 2 com 1. F10 radio menu. Do not leave your parking spot until you are cleared. Alright. VHF com 2 channel 1. I'm going to be honest with you, I really hope that they keep giving me these prompts because I am not going to remember all these damn things. Alright, so let's check my INS. Stored heading mode is done to 10. That is tits. That's awesome. So it's ready. Let's finish getting up and then I will switch it to nav mode. Stand by. Turn on chaff and flares. These switches don't do nothing, but I put them on anyway. Make sure everything's turned on. It's a little bit different than the other campaign, which is fine. Don't have to do all the aircraft checks, which were very cool, by the way, but you just don't have to do them on this one. Just give it one last look around the cockpit, make sure everything's good. I'm glad I looked. Would help if I turned on my oxygen supply. And I think I'm good. I think I'm ready. Requesting taxi.
Hotel 4 ground, SWORD 2-1, requesting taxi.
SWORD 2-1, you are cleared for taxi to runway.
You're cleared to taxi to the runway.
SWORD 2-1.
Good deal. Alright. Nav mode. You're cleared to taxi the runway threshold. Do not enter the runway yet. Roger. Here we go. Nose wheel steering on. Advancing the throttle. So I'm forward, or excuse me, Sting? What was my name? Sword. I am Sword 2-1, basically number 3 in this flight. This is a familiarization flight for the area. Alright. The guy just took off. I am not to enter the runway threshold just yet. There's no runway markings for your hold short line, so I'm just going to have to make my best guess. Hopefully I'm in the right spot to trigger stuff. I'll just hold it here. VHF channel 2 for the tower. Okay. VHF channel 2. And then the F10 radio menu.
Hotel 4 tower, SWORD 2-1, requesting takeoff.
SWORD 2-1, you are cleared for takeoff on runway 28. Wind 300 for 4 knots, altimeter 2984.
SWORD 2-1.
Alright. We are cleared to take off runway 28. And we are supposed to rendezvous at steer point 1. Checking final. Welcome to the Jordanian desert. Here we go. 38 miles to steer point 1.
SWORD 2-1 rolling.
That's right. A little windy down here. Not too bad. Come on.
SWORD 2-1, gear up.
Very cool. Hold heading 280 below 4,000. Alright, we gotta hold 280 below 4. Basically, runway heading below 4,000. Gotta come right just a tad. Departure channel 3. Other contact departure.
Hotel 4 departure, SWORD 2-1, departing from runway 28.
SWORD 2-1, turn heading 250, climb flight level 200.
250, flight level 200, SWORD 2-1.
Alright. Turning left to 250 degrees, climbing to Angels 20. Well, that's not quite on my steer point, which is fine, because I believe I'm doing some kind of standard instrument departure. So holding 250 degrees, and I'm climbing up to 20,000 feet. I've flown this map a ton of times, but I don't really think I've spent much time over the Jordanian desert. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to get my feet off the rudders. Again, this is a familiarization flight for the area. Basically, it's just a welcome to the area. This is kind of what to expect. Kind of teaches you the ropes a little bit on leaving and coming back to the airfield. We are stationed at H4. Sounds like there's a...
Sword 2-1, continue on heading 250.
250, Sword 2-1. Sounds like there's a lot of stuff stationed here at this air base. Sounds like we got some Army Special Forces, Army SF stationed here, and according to the briefing docs, there is an intelligence packet that comes with it, which is very cool. It says that they will not tell us if they're Delta or not that's here. What do you guys think? I've taken on the role of Captain Dan Forrest. I'm not going to say the last name because I don't remember it. I want to say Whitaker. I don't know if that's right. It's not right. 100% it's not right. But my call sign is Forrest. Here for a little while. At least while I'm flying this. Holding 250 degrees on the heading per ATC. And I'm going up to Angels 20. There's some F-16s up ahead of me, so the rest of the flight is probably up there marshaled at steer point 1. Let's go ahead and step up to 20,000 a little bit quicker. Showing MiG-29 spike. This is supposed to be just a regular familiarization flight where we're not supposed to be messed with very much. But they said you never know what the Russians are going to do around this area because they are supporting the Syrian forces.
Sword 2-1, you are clear of Hotel 4 airspace. Departure handing off.
Alright. Proceed waypoint 1, 20,000 feet. Alright, let's go to waypoint 1. We're just about up to 20,000. I'm above 18, so I'm going to double check my altimeter set 2992. Alright, I do see another aircraft over here. Looks like 2 aircraft. Sword flight, channel 7. Press spacebar when it's set. VHF, channel 7. Spacebar.
Sword 1-1, Sword 2-1 approaching RV point.
Copy 2-1. Sword flight form up. We're pushing for waypoint 2, Angels 25. Forrest, I want your element in 1 mile trail.
1 mile trail.
Sword 2-1.
Steer point 2. We are to do a 1 mile trail. I'm at 20,000. I see ya. Alright, where'd you go, fella?
Okay, sword flight. All airspace within the Syria theater is controlled by the ABCCC Sentinel. Once clear of H4CA, we must declare ourselves on mission to Sentinel. Sword 2-1, I want you to check our flight in now.
Sword 2-1.
Sword 2-1, we gotta check in. UHF, com channel 2. To check in the flight.
Sentinel, Sword 2-1, checking in, flight of 4 F-16s on mission number 0423, inbound on the SWARTC.
Beautiful team, be advised, Syria patrol to airborne north of your position. Magic is monitoring you, elevation received.
Copy all, Sentinel, Sword 2-1 out.
Alright, there they are. Those must be the other dudes. So I'm gonna get on trail with those guys. One-mile trail. There he is. So I'm gonna lock this guy right here, so that way I can stay within a 1-mile trail of that guy. There we go. I'm at 1.1 miles.
Off to our left is Syria. The border is visible at our 10 o'clock, clearly marked by the berm that runs parallel to the road running northeast. The long, thin lake at 11 o'clock lies within the Jordanian side of the border, so it's a useful landmark to reference. The Jords are deployed quite heavily in this area. Not surprising considering what's going on down in Syria. They're also maintaining a cap of F-16s around the clock.
Alright, so there are Jordanian F-16s in the area. I just put up my air-to-air mode because since I have the guy locked in front of me, it'll give me a delta on how much faster I am going than they are. That way I can see what their speed is. They want me to hold a 1-mile trail. Right now, I am greater. I'm 20 knots faster than they are. Let me back that off.
To our 3 o'clock is a large lake. This lake is around 6 miles north of H4, and it's another useful reference point to help orient yourself to home. As we return to H4, we'll use 2 initial points to approach the base. Approach Alpha is a wind farm near a small lake. You might have seen it off to our right as we made the low-level departure from runway 28. Approach Bravo might just be visible in the distance beyond the lake. It's a shale oil facility, usually easy enough to ID from all the smoke it's kicking out. It's the smoke to the left as we look at it. The smoke to the right is from a factory complex in Rouage. Other than scattered settlements and industry, that's about all there is to see out here.
Sure is remote. What an assignment. Miles and miles of flat desert. We'll be dying to get into Syria just to see some scenery. Never mind the action.
Well, there'll be plenty of that to go around before long, I'm sure. Syrian SAMs keep coming up when the JSTF is around the no-fly zone. We'll be needed up north before long, I'm sure.
Ha, no doubt.
Optional conversation with the flight. F10 menu if you wish, of course.
So the SWARTC looks like quite the playground. Miles and miles of empty space to train in. It'll be like being back in Nevada.
Well, I
That's
don't
right.
think the flying will be quite that good, but it's always good to get the chance to drop live ordnance.
Doubt it's quite as well set up as the NTTR.
Not a chance. The emitters and targets aren't quite as realistic as we're used to. We'll have to make do with old pickups and containers today, but they'll do the job.
And we've still got an instrument in range at least. Kinda cool how the old H3 complex has been repurposed.
Yeah, the place has quite the history of being bombed. The H3 complex as it became was built back in the 70s. It consisted of the main base plus 2 dispersal fields and highway landing strip. The Iranians attacked it during their war with Iraq. Then we attacked it again in '91. It was a chemical weapons storage site back then. We hit it again during Southern Watch before an OIF finally capturing it. Since then it's been abandoned and left in the desert.
Yep, and now it's our turn. Let's see if we can't add a few more craters to the landscape, huh?
I like the enthusiasm. I'm sure we will.
Alright, let's do it. Is there another conversation? I like this. Some extra
Quite a
conversation
situation
if
we
you
find
want.
ourselves in over here. Syrians, the SIA, the Russians, the GSTF. What happened to clear front lines and an obvious enemy?
Quite a mess we find ourselves in over here.
Well, Syria's certainly got its problems, but at least our primary mission is clear enough.
Oh yeah, blowing up SAMs. That's what we do best. Whole thing seems pretty rushed though. The 6 of us are the only dedicated Weasels out here, and we're the last to the party. Sounds like we've got a no-fly zone that we're struggling to enforce right now. We're supposed to be the first in, remember?
You'll get no argument from me, Rotor, but we're here now.
What's with this Operation Jackal that just kicked off? I didn't catch all the details.
It's the start of a big push against the SIA. We're moving from a more reactive CAS mindset to a more aggressive footing, targeting more strategic SIA assets such as economic and logistic targets.
Expect we'll be out over the Euphrates for too long then.
Wouldn't bet against it.
Sure would be pleased to get a chance to say hi to the SIA. They won't know what hit them. What it'd be rocking? Some old Soviet junk? Probably barely even know how to use that stuff.
Well, SE-8s and 6s, older but still dangerous in the right hands. I guess that's the big question. Can they operate them competently?
Well, we'll find out before too long, I'm sure. And I know who my money's on.
That's pretty cool. There's some extra dialogue that you can select if you want. I like that. So right now it looks like we're heading to the H3 airport to do another training run. So this isn't just a familiarization flight with the area. It's also like a small little one last training run before the operational tempo increases and we get into actual combat missions. So right now we're heading to H3. Sounds like we're going to target a simulated SA-2, I think it said in the brief. I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure it was an SA-2. And so what I'm supposed to do according to the briefing is we will be heading probably east to the SAM site. And if they lock us, number 1 and number 2 are going to go south. We are supposed to go north 90 degrees to the SAM site, and then we will go low level and rotate in while number 1 and 2 stay high. And hopefully we can sneak in and we'll drop our bombs on the SAM site with a pop-up attack on the simulated SAM site.
Okay, flight, we're approaching the border into Iraq. Push uniform to Games Master.
Alright, uniform to Game Master.
1-2 set. 2-2
Game
set.
Master, channel 1.
One set.
Games Master, Sword 1-1, flight of 4 F-16s checking in as fragged on approach to SWARTC.
Copy, Sword 1, range is clear and targets are set. You are cleared for unrestricted flight within the AO. Weapons released within the range has been authorized. Monitor this frequency at all times. Games Master will call kills on blue units if you deem evasive measures to be inadequate.
Copy all, Games Master. Sword is
Right.
proceeding. Sword 2, go combat spread, 1 mile left.
Sword
What?
2-1.
2-1, 1 mile left, combat spread. This one I'm probably just gonna have to eyeball it.
Okay, flight, remember what we briefed. Once engaged by the SA-2, Sword 1 will break south and stay high on the edge of the threat ring. Sword 2 will break north and dive for the deck. Watch your spacing and keep track of your wingman. Flight fence in.
There we go. Alright, lights are off, that's on. Threat receiver up. Countermeasures are up. And we are fenced. ECM.
Counter.
Can't see it.
Chat flare.
There we go. It's active.
Sword 1-1 fenced. Flight, roll call.
There we go.
Sword 1-2.
Sword 2-1.
Sword 2-2.
Alright, so
Approaching Mez, music on.
music's on. They want us
Music
to
on.
full transmit.
Music on.
Music on.
Music on. Alright, so they want a 145 degree heading there because that's what they want me to do on an attack heading when I dive to the deck, because that will keep me out of SAM, or not SAM, excuse me, AAA. Not sure if this is about 1 mile. I'm guessing it's roughly, maybe a little closer. But I'm going to hold it.
Sword 1-2. 1-2. 12 o'clock.
Alright. I don't see him.
Sword 1-1, Spike 2, 12 o'clock. Sword 1 breaking south. Sword 2 break north, commence attack.
There we go. Alright, we are breaking to the north. 145 degree attack heading.
Sword 1 defending SA2.
Getting way low. And then I'm going to attack run on a 145 degree heading, and then I'll pop up from low level. I have to stay, see, in the briefing images, it gave me a picture of that main road, so I'll be staying away from that road.
Missile in the air, Sword 1 defending SA2.
Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, I see the missile. Want me on a 145. It said to stay away from that road, but it's not giving me the 145 degree attack heading just yet. So I'm going to stick with the heading rather than the hand-drawn picture. Hopefully it'll be coming in soon. Alright. I'm going to start my turn in. I'm going to get lower.
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up.
Alright, I'm going to hold this heading until the needle comes in for steer point 4. There it is. Needle's coming in. Just staying low, and then I'll pop up at about 7 miles to be able to get my attack run, and then we can only drop once. We'll drop the pair, try to hit the radar. 8 miles. It's really windy down here. 7 miles. 6. Coming up. That way I can get a nice view.
Lead, we're too high. We need to push lower. SA2 tracking degrades below 1,500 feet AGL.
Well, I thought it said to do a 7 mile pop-up. Whatever. Alright, I'll come back
Altitude.
down. That's fine.
Altitude. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Kind of
Altitude.
mushing.
Altitude.
There's
Missile
some,
launch, Sword 1 defending SA-2.
there's some AAA.
Sword 2-1 is in.
Now come up. Because I need to make sure I got some room to drop. See, there's no way. He was complaining about...
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up.
not going to hit
Pull
anything
Pull up. Altitude.
on that one.
Altitude.
So going to steer
Sword
point
2-1
4.
off target.
See, I needed that little bit of extra time. I should have just ignored him and just stayed down. Alright, I was switched to steer point 5.
No effects. Target was not destroyed.
I noticed.
Sword 2-1, egress to target area. Do not re-attack.
Right. South toward the rally point, steer point 5, lead the SA-2's MEZ. See, when I did that pop-up, see, I knew I had to get... That was pretty, maybe a little bit too far, but when he complained about it, I just went back down, and then I just didn't give myself enough time to drop on those guys. And according to the briefing, and just like he just said, you just get one chance at it. That's alright. I'm just at full mill, heading out of the target area to steer point 5. Not sure where the flight lead is. We'll find him though. We'll probably rally at 6.
All flights push to rally.
Alright.
Music off.
Music off.
Pull up.
Just about there. Probably good to pop up.
Sword 2-2 spiked SA-3.
Sword 2-2 break left. 1 breaking right.
Breaking left.
Music on. 0 Papa.
Music on.
Activate the jammer self-protection mode. CMS, CMI auto 1 and 2. So it told me to break right, not left. Pay more attention. Alright.
Chat. Flare.
There we go. Alright.
Counter.
Spacebar when ready. VHF 7.
Sword 1, Sword 2. SA-3 online in the vicinity of the H3 southwest site.
Copy 2. You have the fuel to make a run at it?
Yeah, I got plenty of gas. Reply at the F10 menu.
Two-1 is cannon only, but I'm good to go.
That's right.
Okay, Sword Flight, let's get back to work. We're going to locate and kill the SA-3 around the H3 southwest site. Stand by for base coordinates. North, tree 244, decimal 656. East, 039, tree 6, decimal 217. 2671 feet.
3244.
We're going to work this as a four-ship and overwhelm it from four directions. I'll attack from the west. Sword 1-2, arc south. Sword 2-1, arc east, and 2-2 north. SA-3 Mez is 10 miles, so keep out of range as you maneuver into position. We'll attack in elements. While one element is attacking, the other will try and hold the radar's attention. Call attacking as you go hot on the target, defending if you break away. Games Master will call any kills against it.
Sword 1-2.
Sword 2-1.
Sword 2-2.
Didn't quite get the, there we go. Set waypoint. 3244, 656. East, 0. You must put the 0 there. 39. 36217.
Sword 1-2, ready.
217. 2671. For steer point 26.
Altitude.
Position 10 miles east of H3. Southwest Airbase. You can abort this task. NRTB at any time by contacting Sword 1 F10 menu. Press spacebar to remove this message and proceed. Alright, there we go. There we go. Heading up. We gotta go 10 miles east.
Sword 2-2, ready.
So, I'm gonna have to rotate around that SAM site there, as it wants me to go 10 miles east. There we go. I'm 10 miles east. Alright, I'm in position.
Sword 2-1 in position.
Sword 1 attacking SA-3, H3 south.
Okay. Hold east of the Mez with Sword 1 runs into the SA-3 site. Be ready to start your own run. They go defensive. Alright. I should be good if he goes defensive, because I got a steer point right on that guy for my gun run. I mean, I just did it in
Sword 1-1 spiked.
Sword 1-2, missile launch. SA-3, H3
Sword
south.
1 defending SA-3.
Alright,
Sword
I'm going
2 at a
in.
mark point on the launch position.
Copy. Sword 2 attacking SA-3, H3 south.
I got it right there. Pushing SA-3, advise you mark point on the missile.
Tally launch site, horseshoe-shaped revetment, north corner of the base.
Right there. Nope, that was a AAA gun.
Sword 2-2, spiked, SA-3.
Yep, I do have an SA-3 spike.
SAM launch, SA-3, H3 south.
Sword 2 defending.
Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare.
Alright. I seen him. There was no horseshoe revetments where it told me to. but I had the right position in the first place.
Sword 1 attacking SA-3, H3 south.
Basically, what we're going to do is just keep coming in, all four of us, and until somebody gets close enough to take it out. All right, I'm at 5.5 on the gas. Right there's the radar for the SA-3. Waiting for number 1 to get in there. Because what I'll do is I'll head in there and take him out after he calls defending.
Missile launch, SA-3, H3 south. Sword 1-2, defending.
There we go.
Tally on launch site, engaging.
Alright, 1's got the launch site. I got him too. 1's heading in.
Sword 1 is off. Kill the launcher. Radar is still up about 50 meters northeast of the smoke. Sword 2, press.
Heading in.
Sword 2 attacking SA-3, H3 south.
Locate SA-3 radar. 50 meters northeast. Alright, yep. I know exactly where he's at. He's in my T-pod.
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, got my guns on. Don't want to get too low.
Sword 2-2, spiked, SA-3.
Sword 2-2, go defensive.
Cat
1 is
flare.
engaging.
Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare.
Put some preemptive chaffs out.
Cat flare.
There is the radar.
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up.
Got him.
Sword
Heading up.
1-2.
Get out
Sword
of
2-1.
any AAA range.
Sword 2-2.
Sword flight, push rally.
Alright, we are pushing steer point 5. That was cool.
Sword 2-2 at rally point.
Sword
Alright.
1-1 at rally.
Welcome,
Sword
boys.
flight, vents out. Push waypoint 6, Angels 25.
Waypoint 625. Former fence check. Firepower saved, all weapon to master modes. 2 navigation mode. There we go. Emissions, check radar emissions, lights, navigation. Set for return leg. Countermeasures saved and ECM is off. ECM off. Lights on.
Games Master, sword flight checking out of SWARTC.
Everything's safe.
We'll call you up when back for debrief. Nice working with you.
Copy, Sword 1. Likewise. Flight safe. You are clear to depart.
Sword 2-1, we're clearing the SWARTC. Check us back in with Sentinel.
Sword
Copy.
2-1.
check us back in. UHF. And channel 2. Press space.
Sentinel, sword flight is egressing SWARTC and inbound on H4, Angels 25.
Good, proceed, Angels 25.
Let me get over here with my flight.
Whew, nice surprise you threw back there, boss.
Ha! Glad you liked it. I asked Games Master to throw a surprise at us on the way out. They sure came through.
Right?
Well, hopefully that blew away some of the cobwebs. Attacking SAMs is definitely a skill that degrades if you don't use it. We failed to kill the SA-2, but hopefully you saw how loitering just on the edge of the engagement range can bait the operators into firing. A useful distraction tactic and also helpful in forcing the SAM site to reveal its exact position. Once you have the radar occupied, the second element can come in unseen at low level and finish the job, but you've got to stay mindful of low-level threats. The SA-3 is a lot more dangerous than the guideline. Although more limited in range, its missiles are much more of a threat than with the SA-2. It lacks the low-level vulnerability of the SA-2, so today we switched up tactics and went with a saturation attack from multiple attack axes. Remember that even though the Syrians have lots of older SAMs like we've seen today, they've still got plenty of more modern systems as well. Make sure you understand the vulnerabilities of all systems and attack where they're weakest.
What's the EW situation up north? Are we expecting to see some Growler support or something? Sure would make the job easier when we come up against the double-digit systems.
When we need it, we'll have it. I'm assured of this.
Assured.
So, boss, when are we going to be in the action for real?
Soon enough, Rotor, soon enough. With the operation kicking off against the SIA and the demand for support around the no-fly zones, I can't see us having to wait too long.
Let's hope not. I can't face weeks of sitting around this desert waiting for something to do. Me neither, man. What I'd give for a trip to Nellis right now. Get me some of that good Vegas life.
What, and miss the wife out here?
Well, I wouldn't want to miss out on the flying, but I could pass on life at H4.
Well, take it from me, after seeing action at both OIF and OPF, you'll never have flying quite like you do on an operation like this.
You saw a lot of action in Persian Freedom, didn't you, Popeye?
That's right. Weasels were right in the middle of the opening phase of OPF. Part of the wave that kicked the door open over mainland Iran at the start.
Must have been pretty hairy. The Iranians had some impressive equipment.
Well, at the start it was. Had a few S-300s to take out early on, but we had a solid plan, plenty of EW support, and, well, we're just better at this than anyone else. I guarantee you're better trained at killing SAMs than the SAM operators are at killing you.
All
A
right.
lot more of them than us, though.
Okay, we're inbound on H4. I've done this approach more than the rest of you, so Sword 2-1, I want you to take the lead and bring us on in. First step is to declare to H4 approach that we're inbound. Typically, do this around 50 miles out and before you reach the 30-mile boundary of H4 control airspace. Do it now. I'll follow you in.
Sounds good. VHF channel 4.
Hotel 4 approach, Sword 2-1 inbound.
SWART 2-1 proceed to Hotel 4 airspace. Check in at flight level 160. Push to RAPCON arrival at 30-mile mark.
Flight level 160, Sword 2-1.
All right.
Okay, Sword 2-1, proceed to H4 airspace. You want to bait Angels 16, 30 miles out from H4. TAC end for H4 is 125 X-ray.
Alright, we got that set up. Oh, crap. 30 miles out. We need to get down to 16,000. Blew through it. My bad.
Sword 2-1, you're entering H4 airspace now. Push to H4 arrival and declare your flight.
VHF channel 5. Alright. Contact the arrival.
Hotel 4 arrival. Sword 2-1 entering Hotel 4 airspace.
Sword 2-1, cleared for approach Bravo. Maintain flight level 160.
Approach Bravo
Approach
160.
Bravo, flight level 160, Sword 2-1.
Okay, Sword 2-1, we're cleared in on approach Bravo at Angels 1-6. Bravo is the oil facility that's smoking in the distance. You'll also find it listed as waypoint 8 in your flight plan. Bravo is our safe approach to pattern airspace, so make sure you don't deviate. We have traffic ahead.
Alright. Proceed to Bravo Point. Smokestacks at waypoint 8, 16,000 feet. Keep VHF on arrival. Alright, there's the smokestacks right there. A little low. Coming back up to 16,000. Alright. I'm going to pass over these smokestacks at 16,000. There's the airfield. For reference, I'm setting the course.
Sword 2-1, cleared to enter pattern. Flight level 080.
8,000.
Flight level 080, Sword 2-1.
Sword 2-1, take us down to Angels 8 and feed us into the pattern. Make sure you avoid overflying Ruwaish below 7,500 feet MSL. The Jordanians have a noise restriction in place over the town. Hold in the pattern until we're cleared to push to the tower.
Alright. Hold in pattern 8,000 feet until further notice. Note at the point during the landing process you can declare an emergency at A4 Korea Com2 Channel 6. This will grant you an immediate landing clearance, but you will lose some scoring elements.
Hey, look. We had a pair of Apaches inbound from the west.
Oh, cool.
The Army's ramp sure is getting crowded.
Coming down to 8,000. So I set the course to 281. We're like right on top of them here. Alright, there's 8,000. Another aircraft right there. Hope I didn't miss anything. Hope they didn't tell me if it was a left-hand or a right-hand approach. Alright, coming back around.
Sword 2-1, exit pattern and push the tower.
There we go.
Sword 2-1.
Pushing to tower.
Okay, Sword 2-1, switch to tower freak and get us cleared to land.
Alright. Com2, F10, Com2, VHF2. Request landing.
Hotel 4 Tower, Sword 2-1 requesting landing.
SWARTC 21, cleared for landing runway 10, wind 300 for 4 knots.
SWARTC 21, go ahead and land. We'll follow you down once you clear the runway. Good flying good day, everyone. See you in debrief.
So it's going to be runway 10, not 28 that we took off from. So we're going to stay on this side of the active runway so we don't get hit by any departures. I might be on the wrong side, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to just double check the procedures coming in. So this is going to be 281, so this is runway 28. We're coming in on runway 10.
Bingo.
Alright, I am bingo fuel. Perfect. They said don't get too low over this, I think it's this little village here. Don't get too low because of noise abatement procedures, so I'm going to stay at 8,000, and once I pass it, then I'll start my descent down for landing. Doesn't sound like we have to do a break. I just want to double check. Okay, wanted to see if there's any radio options. There isn't. I am a beam coming down. I'm most likely I'm on the wrong side. That's what I'm thinking. Landing lights are on. What makes me think I'm on the wrong side is, look, there's my other flights over there circling the lake. Alright, I'm turning in.
Altitude. Altitude.
I'd rather do left-hand traffic patterns, but looks like I'm coming in on a right-hand traffic pattern. They said visual Bravo. I'm going to read up on that because from what I thought is I have to follow smokestack to smokestack, so that's why I'm on this side. Maybe I did it right. Don't know, but
SWARTC 21, clear runway and proceed to spot 8.
I think that was my same spot, so that's where I'm heading. Alright, mission complete. Look at that. I like that patch. That's pretty sweet. YGBSM. Come on, guys. You may exit when ready. Alright, cool. I liked it. I like that mission. I'm excited to get into some really legit SAM fighting on this. I love fighting SAMs in the F-16. Comment below. Tell me what you think. You guys excited as I am to get into this campaign? I am. I know I've seen at least 1 or 2 comments saying that they look forward to it. Let's try not to clip the wing. Appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody voting on the poll. And this is the one selected. Hope you guys enjoy it. No aircraft were harmed in the making of this video, except all of them. If you enjoy the flight, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next sortie.